Hi guys, in this lecture I am going to teach you how to add the border, outline, margin, padding and dimension. What are these terms? Let's discuss these terms. First of all, I want to tell you about the border. So what is the border? The border is just a boundary. All the HTML elements have the boundary, like a paragraph, div, span and the heading, and all every HTML element have the border. So we cannot see the border clearly because we have not defined the values for the border. The border is not visible to us. We have not created the border. So now first of all, here I'm gonna copy a paragraph from the previous file. Here I'm going to open the previous file, and here is, and copy this paragraph. So now paste it here. Here create the paragraph tags. Here is the P, paste it here. So now what we need to do, let's render it. Here in the browser you can see that there is not a boundary of this paragraph. There is not any line. So now we are gonna define the line, or we can also say that boundary, border. So what we need to do, first of all, we need to write the border style. What are the border style? The border style is solid. The next thing is the border width. The border width, I'm gonna give it 3 pixel. And then the border color. What is the color of the border? So here I'm gonna give the red color. So first of all, this is the width of the line, 3 pixel, and the style is just like a solid. I have given the value solid. Solid is just create a straight line. So let's execute it. So here you see that this is a solid style. It is just straight line, and you can also give the different values to it. And the width and the color will not work without the style, and you can also give the different values. Here I'm gonna give the dashed. So now it's become dashed. And now it's become visible. Here I'm gonna check the spelling. Double, here we have to write double. So now let's execute it. So here are the border is become double, and you can also able to provide dotted. So now lines is become dotted, and here is the groove. So it have another effect, and you can also apply ridge, thin, thick, medium, and you can also give the colors in the RGB values code. And now I'm gonna show you a shorthand property. Here what we need to do, we are able to put all these properties in the single property. First of all, we need to put the width, then the style. Here I have put the solid, and then the color. Here I am gonna put yellow, and now execute it. So now it's become yellow. Here you can see that this is yellow. And now the next thing is the outline. So what is the outline? Here I'm gonna make it in the comment. So what is the outline? The outline is outside the border. The outline is just like a line outside of the border. We can also call it, it is the border outside the border. It is a boundary outside the boundary. So what we need to do, we just need to change the border with the outline. Outline also have the style, and it have the same values as the border. It also have the width. We have to give the width in the pixels, and it also have the color just like the border. And it also have the shorthand property like this. So now first of all I am going to execute these upper lines. So here you can see that, so this is the outline. First of all, here I'm going to place a border. So here I'm going to give the style solid so you can watch it clearly. So here you can see that yellow is a border and the red is the outline. Here you can see that red color is of outline, and you can also give a shorthand property of the outline just like the border. What we need to do, we just need to change the word border with the outline. It also have the width and then the style and then the color. It is just like the border. And the next thing is the margin. What is the margin? The margin is just a space. The margin is used to adjust the content in the web page. Here I'm going to show you a website, CNN, of course. So now open it. So now here you can see that this is a sidebar and this is a content area. So here you can see that this content area, this images have the space on its right side. So this is a margin. Here this sidebar have the space on its left side. So here is the margin. So this margin is used to adjust the content in the website. It is the space outside the border. So now here I'm gonna remove the outline and here change its color to the red, and now you are able to create the space from the upper side, from the left side, right side and the bottom side. And now first of all I'm gonna change the zoom percentage. So now first of all I'm gonna create the margin top. It create the space on the upper side, 10 pixel. So now watch it, it's less, so I'm going to increase it to the 50 pixel. So here you see that here the space is created. This is the margin top. You can also create the margin left. So execute it. So here the space on the left side, this is the margin left. You can also create the space on the right side. Here is the space on the right side, and you can also give the space on the bottom side. And to view the space of the bottom side, you have to write some text below it so you can clearly watch the space on the bottom side. So here you can watch this space is created on the bottom side, so the text appear here. And you don't need to write all of these 4 margins. You can also give all of these 4 values in the single line. Here what you need to do, just write margin, and then first of all you need to give, if you give the 4 values, then the first value is for the top side, 20 pixel is the top side, then the left side, then the 30 pixel is for the bottom side, and then the 40 pixel is for the right side. So now let's execute it. So here it is adjusted with the new values. I'm gonna make it in the comment, previous values. So if we give only 3 values to it, then the first value is for the top side, the second value is for the right and left, the third value is for the bottom. And if we give only 2 values, the first value is for the top and bottom, the second value is for the right and left. And if we give only 1 value, so this value is for all sides. Here execute and see the effect. The next thing is the padding. So what is the padding? The padding is the space inside the border. Here you can see that there is no space inside the border. The content is very close to the border. So we're gonna create the space inside the border. What we are able to create the space from all over the four sides. So now first of all I'm going to create the space from the top side. We have to write padding top. Here I'm going to give 10 pixels from the top. It is the space inside the border. Here you can see that this space is the outside the border, this is margin, and inside the border this is padding. And we can also give the left side. Here is the left side, and here is the right side, and then the bottom side. Here let's watch it. Here the space are created from all over the four sides. All of these paddings in one line by using the padding property. And then if we give the four values, first is for the top side, second is for the left side, the third is for the bottom side, and the fourth is for the right side. And now let's look at it. So here the space is increased, and if we give only three values, so the first value is for the top, second value is for the right and left, and the third value is for the bottom. And if we give two values, first is for the top and the bottom, the second value is for the right and left. And if we give only one value, then it gives this value to all the four sides. So this is the padding, and the next thing is the CSS dimensions. So what is the CSS dimensions? Here I am going to make all of these things in the comment. Here let's execute it. Here is the paragraph, but here you can see that this paragraph have not the specific height and width. You can also able to give it the height and width. Here I'm going to give it the height and width, 200 pixel height, and the width is 300 pixel. Execute it. So here this is the paragraph. Here border defines its height and the width. The content is overflow. We are able to increase its height. So now it is adjusted. So now we are also able to give it the maximum height. If we give the maximum height, so its height cannot be increased more than the maximum height. Here we have the height that is 500, but if we give the maximum height that is 400, so its height is become 400. Here you can see that its height is reduced, it's become 400. We can also give it maximum width. So now its height, its maximum width is 400, but if we reduce it to 200 pixel and we have give it width 300 pixel, so now its width is reduced because its maximum width is defined. And we can also give the minimum height and the maximum height. So the minimum height is used when we open any website in the mobile or on the short screen. Also the minimum width is for the short screen. When we many users today open the website on the short screens, then it will give the comfort for the mobile users. Minimum height. So I hope you understand my lecture. If you have any problems, so kindly add the discussion on Udemy. I will help you as much as I can. In my next lecture, I am going to discuss how to give the different styles to the table and how to the div and to the HTML5 elements, header, footers, and other elements. So see you in the next lecture.